All right, what is going on, guys? Today we have another Marvel Contest of Champions video for you today, and I wanted to go over the newest mode, which is the Fantastic Force Recruitment. Some of you may know this mode as MCOC Poker, because that's essentially what it is. For those of you that haven't been able to play the mode yet, you use your 2-star champions to fight, and based on which fights you do, that can determine how many cards you can change from your hand in order to get the best hand possible. Now, that's not a very great explanation, I will admit, but it is kind of a confusing mode until you play it a few times. So if you haven't played it yet, just make sure and hop into it and you'll totally understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, in this video, I just wanted to go over ways that I think that this game mode can be improved, and also just cover some positive aspects about it, because I do think that it is an inherent good thing for this game, and it is beneficial for the player base. Here's a couple reasons why that is. So first off, I really feel like this mode is refreshing in the sense that it's not just Everest content. It's something that I can open my phone and do for like 5 minutes if I'm standing in line or waiting for something and not feel too pressured about it. I think that's an inherent good for this game. Sometimes people don't have time to do Necropolis, things that are going to take them 5 to 6 hours to complete. Anytime we have quick content that you can do, or especially some of these juicy rewards, I think that is just a positive thing for this game. Next up, one of the good things that I like about this mode as well is that for endgame players that have all of that Everest content completed, they actually have a reason to use their energy. Sometimes it can just sit around there and do nothing. It's always good to have a place to use that energy as well. Another thing that mostly benefits endgame players, but is also kind of good for newer players as well that are still learning champions, is that I get to play my 2 stars, okay? And not only that, I get to use 2 stars that I wouldn't usually normally use. I've done fights with Night Thrasher, Black Bolt, Jubilee, all champions I honestly probably wouldn't touch at my level, and it's been kind of refreshing being able to use those champions again, kind of get that nostalgia blast from the past. That's been really fun for me. So I have liked that aspect about this game mode quite a bit. Finally, I think, as I mentioned earlier, the rewards for this are awesome, and they look awesome across the board. For me, as a Valiant player, I get 7-star shards up the yin-yang, and it looks like across the progression levels, you still get honestly pretty juicy shard rewards. I'm mostly free to play, so anytime that I can get nice, good rewards, that is a good thing for me, because then I don't have to spend money on trying to keep up to date with the ever-increasing champion pool, and so I really do like the nice rewards. Now, that being said, there are some negatives that come with this game mode, okay? And I don't want to spend too long on them because nobody wants to watch me just be Mr. Pessimistic, but there are some things that I really would like to address. First off is that I feel like it's just too easy. Personally, I would have liked to have seen some sort of difficulty increase or way to increase the difficulty that will make this mode more enticing to me, because right now it just feels like I don't get any dopamine from playing this game. It just feels like you just click play game and you just pray to RNG gods that you get a good hand, because that's honestly what it feels like. And then there's just 2-star fights thrown in between. It just feels really weird and out of place to me. One thing that I think they could maybe do to fix this is actually make the fights themselves important. Maybe if I play the fight perfectly, I can get some bonus points. It doesn't have to be a lot, just maybe like 10 or 20, and honestly, I'm happy with that. Or another idea I thought is maybe before you start your game, you can choose to take on an even more difficult fight every time you want to swap cards out. Maybe you'll have like one card where you have kind of a nexus ability where you can choose which card you want, or maybe it can just help you swap a card multiple times in one round. I think there's a couple ways you could do this. You could also add some sort of score multiplier if you're willing to take on harder fights, but I think that would be a good change because it just feels like the 2-star fights are shoehorned in there because this is a fighting game at the end of the day, and Kabam needed to make sure that they had some part of that in this game mode. I really wish that it was just a little bit harder and it felt a little bit more rewarding, because that's another thing, right? This game is very RNG focused. There have been people that have been playing this game nonstop, it feels like, myself included, on stream for 3 hours and didn't once get the first best hand or even second best hand. For me personally, that's all I was going for on stream, and I still didn't come close. Some sort of like ability to impact that would really go a long way, and I think would really make this mode a lot more engaging. I know it's based on gambling, so you shouldn't be guaranteed to always do the best, but I feel like the RNG is a little too insane. That brings me to my second point. The RNG portion of it, I don't really agree with. Now let me explain what I mean. In the game, you have arena mode. You have 6-star arena mode where people compete and they fight 7 stars, and you're fighting serpents a lot and enchantress a lot, and arena is just difficult sometimes. And your reward for coming first in the arena is a 6-star copy of a champion. Whereas you can play this mode, the roster is given to you in the form of 2 stars, and all you have to do is be insanely blessed with RNG and energy spam all day, and you're awarded for that. There's not really a lot of skill expression in this game mode, in my honest opinion. For that reason, I feel like the ranked rewards are maybe a little bit out of balance. I don't know what you could do to fix that, per se, but it just feels like they're too good for just too little of effort and too just RNG dependent of effort. So I would like to see some sort of skill expression or maybe reward for actually having skilled gameplay if the rewards are going to be that good. If they didn't change this, I don't think it would be the end of the world, but I just like to see people being rewarded for a lot of effort that they put in. And to me, relying on RNG and energy spamming shouldn't warrant a 7-star of a new champion. Man, one final thing that I would like to talk about real quick is I do think the energy is maybe a little bit too high of a cost to play this mode. And the reason for that is they're clearly trying to make a mode that every progression level can play. And when you're just starting this game out, you're not leveled up very high. So your energy is maybe 20, 30 a tank. And being able to play this game for 10 energy per pop is probably not the best. I would have liked to see that maybe lowered to 5, and then maybe the one that gives you like 3 times earn rate, you could maybe make that 15 or something. I don't think that would be too crazy. Kabam may argue that it would make the gap between the high level players and the low level players as far as ranked rewards too large. But let's be honest, those high-level players have so much energy per go that they're going to get the ranked rewards over the small players any day anyways. So I don't think you really need to be punishing the lower players' ability to get their milestones. That's just kind of like a small thing. It doesn't really impact me at all, but I do think that newer accounts would benefit from a change that was more energy friendly. Overall, I don't think this mode is dead in the water. I do think it's fun. Sometimes it can be refreshing. Overall, maybe I'd give it a 5, 6 out of 10. I'm not super enamored with it, but I'm not too disappointed with it either. And honestly, I do think any new content, for the most part, is a net positive to the game. And I really thank Kabam for trying something else. I think it's refreshing to see them trying to add different gameplay dynamics to the game that we all love. It will help keep it fresh and keep people downloading it. So I'm happy with it in that aspect. I just think there's some things that maybe could be tweaked, maybe changed a little bit to make it way more engaging and way more fun for the player. Before I end all of this, I do just have one more piece of input. Buff Groot.
Subscribe for more epic gameplay.